Hi there guys and welcome to my channel. My name is Bryndís and in today's video I am going to talk to you about this book, If Cats Disappeared from the World by Genki Kawamura. So this book is originally in Japanese. It was translated into the English, which is how I read it, by Eric Selland. So this copy is 202 pages, and it was first published in Japanese in 2012, and the English translation was published in 2018. I listened to it as an audiobook, where it was narrated by Brian Nishi, I think is how you say it, and it was about 4 hours 49 minutes. So it's quite short and easily read or listened to. I immediately as I had finished listening to this book, I went and I bought the hard copy, because this is a book that I can see myself reading again and definitely want to own the hard copy or the paperback. So this book is a contemporary fiction of magical realism, and there has actually been also made a Japanese movie from it in 2016, and it's just a very interesting book. It is the author's debut novel. As far as I know, he has published one other novel, and but he's also a movie producer and has worked on several Japanese movies, at least. I don't know if he's done any in other countries, but at least several Japanese. And yeah, so I'm gonna talk about it. So the plot of this book is very simple. The main character is a young man. I don't think we ever get his name. He is a postman, and he is given the diagnosis that he has terminal brain cancer and he's gonna die within days, basically. He is approached by the devil, who gives him an offer that he will prolong his life by a day, and in return, one thing has to disappear from the world. So he gets more days to live. In return, something has to disappear each day. And I would say that the theme or the quotes, like, you don't get any, in order to gain something, you have to lose something, and you don't know what you've got till it's gone, kind of quotes or sayings are definitely the theme of the book. And I have to say that I was very pleasantly surprised by the book. So initially, I wanted to read this book because of this. Like, there's a cat on the cover, there's a cat in the title. I am a cat person. Like, I have 2 cats currently that I care about very much. I've had several cats throughout my life, since when I was a very young child. Several members of my family and my friends have cats. And I also am a volunteer with a charity that is rescuing feral cats and stray cats. We have a shelter where we try to rehome stray cats, and we do trap, neuter, return, I think it's called, of feral cats. So cats are very important to me. They are a big part of my life. And I could not even imagine my world without cats. So I don't know. If cats disappeared from the world, it's a question that I would never want to even try that. It's just too horrible. And yeah, what life without cats, I can't even imagine. And even like with animals in general, like dogs, I love dogs as well. They are absolutely most amazing creatures, and horses, birds. I mean, I wouldn't mind if wasps disappeared or cockroaches. Like, I don't see any need for them at all. But like cats, lions, horses, elephants, I mean, it would be just such a sad world without those uh, and, animals for sure. So one other question that the author, I feel, is raising in this book is like, what does it mean to be alive? Because technically, as a human being, what we need to be alive is water, food, and shelter from the elements. And if we have those, we can survive. But is that enough to be alive or to like live properly? And another question I think is also kind of examining in this book is, what is the purpose of things in the world? Like, why? What is the meaning of having these different things in the world? And how do the things in the world impact our lives? But not only like our lives as in making things more convenient or more enjoyable, but they actually possibly also impact our relationships and our connections with other people. And I feel that what he's saying is that those are the things that actually make life important to us, or make life worth living. Every life is worth living, obviously, in my opinion, but how like enjoyable or worthwhile that life is, I think depends on the connections that we are able to make with other people. I feel that if you are completely alone and you have no connections with other people, your life is going to be so much poorer. For even if you have all the things in the world, all the money, all the riches, all the power, if you don't have connections with people, then what's the point? And so that's definitely one of the undercurrents there, that life isn't about being financially successful or to be like powerful or famous. Life is about those small kind of mundane things that make us have connections with other human beings. And I think that is really the strong message that this book is sending. And he's given us this message, but it's not preachy. This is definitely not a preachy book, like telling you how you should live or what is like the meaning of life is this and everything else is wrong. No, absolutely not. But it's just kind of making you think and be a little bit critical also of your own life. Like, am I being a good friend or a good wife or a good mother or a good daughter or a good husband? Am I doing what I can to have these good emotional connections with other people? And I think that this is very interesting for me as well, because I have just, after I read this book, I started reading The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, where I feel that there is basically the same message being given, in that book, Dorian Gray just wants to be beautiful and young, and therefore powerful and successful, in his mind at least. And we are actually kind of realizing maybe through that story that that's not really what is happening, or that's not really what is important. And yeah, so that's kind of, I find these questions really interesting, and that you can have such a little book make you think all these big thoughts is really powerful. And yeah, I find that it's telling us to really examine what is important to you in your life, and what can you do to kind of foster those connections with other people. I'm not going to talk anymore about the plot of the book or anything like that, because I'm trying to make this a completely spoiler-free review. But I would, it's just, you have to read it. Even if you hate cats or hate animals, that is not what this book is about. It's about human connection, and so it doesn't matter if you don't like cats. I would still recommend that you read this book. But the book itself, I think, is really hilarious. There are some really funny parts that made me laugh out loud on the bus. It was really funny. And yeah, so it's very amusing, and it's kind of telling the story. Like, the devil is hilarious, the cat there is hilarious, the character and like what he's describing is sometimes very hilarious and amusing. But at the same time, it is heartbreaking and very touching, and as I said, so thought-provoking. The writing style is funny, it's easy, and engaging, and the story is being told through this first-person narrative. So the narrator is this young postman who is about to die, and he is examining his relationship with his parents, with his friends, with his girlfriend, and things like that throughout the objects that the devil is suggesting he makes disappear for him to have more days in the life. And so the author uses humor in such an interesting way to tell a very sad story, really. And he does it so well. Because even though it is really a sad story, it's about someone with an incurable disease who is or may be dying. But the story isn't about grief or about loss or about anything like that. It's about life and being alive and humanity, and yeah, it's a really good book. I really enjoyed it. It's 5 stars for me. It was such a good book because it really engaged my feelings, my emotions, but it also just engaged my mind and made me really think about my life and my relationships. And like, if I would die tomorrow, how would I want people to remember me and things like that? Not about what I've done or my accomplishments or the things that I can leave them like in my will, but how are people going to remember me as a human being, as a person? And that I think it's very healthy and very important for us as people to reflect on things like that, so that we actually can be good human beings in a world that is quite horrible at the moment. Anyway, I really enjoyed this book, 5 stars, and I would 100% recommend that you read it. It's excellent. That was my short little review of If Cats Disappeared from the World by Genki Kawamura. And I hope you enjoyed. If you've read the book, please leave a comment down below and let me know how you felt about it, if you liked it as well as much as I did. And yeah, thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.